June 30, 1908. The remote, pristine wilderness of the Siberian taiga. A typical summer morning, quiet, serene, until, without warning, the sky erupted. A blinding flash, brighter than the sun, tore across the heavens. Seconds later, a deafening roar, like thunder from hell itself, shook the very foundations of the earth. A colossal shockwave, powerful enough to register on barographs across Europe, obliterated everything in its path. For hundreds of miles, people felt the ground tremble, heard the distant explosions, and saw the bizarre, glowing skies that followed. When the dust settled, an area spanning an astonishing 800 square miles, that's over 2,000 square kilometers, of dense forest was utterly flattened, its trees radiating outwards from a central point like fallen matchsticks. Yet, remarkably, there was no impact crater. No smoking hole in the ground. No definitive pieces of a meteorite. What unseen force unleashed such devastating power upon the earth? What truly happened on that fateful morning in Tunguska? To understand the mystery, we must first set the scene. Imagine the vast, untamed expanse of central Siberia at the turn of the 20th century. This was a land of extreme isolation, far from major cities or infrastructure. The Podkamenia Tunguska River Basin, where our story unfolds, was home primarily to the Evenki, an indigenous nomadic people living off the land. Communication was primitive, news traveled slowly, and scientific expeditions into such remote territories were rare and arduous undertakings. The world was preoccupied with rising geopolitical tensions, industrialization, and the dawn of a new century. An event occurring in the depths of Siberia might well go unnoticed, or at least, uninvestigated for a very long time. However, the Tunguska event was no ordinary occurrence. Its sheer scale ensured that even in the absence of immediate human witnesses at ground zero, its effects resonated globally. Seismographs across the northern hemisphere registered the tremors. Atmospheric pressure gauges, or barographs, in London, England, recorded significant fluctuations. Even the night skies above Europe and Asia glowed with an unusual, eerie luminescence for several days, a phenomenon later attributed to atmospheric dust reflecting sunlight. The stage was set for one of the greatest scientific puzzles of the modern era, but it would be years before anyone could even begin to investigate the ground zero itself. The actual event occurred precisely at 7:17 a.m. local time on June 30, 1908. While no human was directly at the epicenter, countless eyewitnesses across hundreds of miles described a terrifying spectacle. Semyon Borisovich Semenov, an Evenki farmer living about 40 miles south of the explosion, recalled being thrown from his porch by a blast of hot wind and seeing his house nearly torn apart. He described a pillar of fire in the sky, a sound like artillery fire, and a severe earthquake. Further afield, along the Trans-Siberian Railway, hundreds of miles away, train engineers felt the tremors and observed brilliant flashes. In Kerensk, a town approximately 250 miles southeast, residents reported seeing a fiery body streaking across the sky, followed by a powerful shockwave that broke windows and rattled buildings. The airburst itself is estimated to have occurred at an altitude of 5 to 10 kilometers, generating an explosive force equivalent to 10 to 15 megatons of TNT, a power comparable to a large hydrogen bomb. The immediate aftermath was a scene of unparalleled destruction. Over 80 million trees across those 800 square miles were instantly incinerated and blown down in a distinctive radial pattern, pointing directly away from the epicenter. Yet, at the very heart of the blast zone, some trees remarkably remained standing, stripped of their branches and bark, but still vertical. This paradoxical observation would become a crucial piece of the puzzle. Despite the magnitude of the event, its remote location and the subsequent political turmoil, including World War I and the Russian Revolution, meant that no serious scientific expedition reached the site for nearly 2 decades. It wasn't until 1921 that Russian mineralogist Leonid Kulik, driven by local accounts and a fascination with meteorites, managed to organize the first preliminary survey. After further tireless efforts, Kulik led several full expeditions between 1927 and 1930. What he found baffled him: a vast area of flattened forest, a swampy, boggy terrain at the presumed epicenter, but